Hello, my name is Michael Post. I'm the father of Courtney Post. I'm an Iraqi war veteran. I also served during 9/11 when that catastrophe happened. I've been with the U.S. Army and affiliated with them for probably over 16 years. I enlisted initially in the service in 1989 after a year and a half of college. I was living with my parents at the time. I joined the service because I wanted college to be paid for, and also I was going to save money and travel around the United States and see everything. Try to see everything. I picked the U.S. Army because my grandfather was in the Army, and he kind of guided me through. He told me there's good things about it, and I scored real high on my tests that you have to take prior to enlisting. My first days in service, it was boot camp, they call it, and they put you in like a cattle truck, all bunched together with all this heavy equipment, and then when you get to the barracks, the area where you're going to be sleeping and mopping floors and with your toothbrush, they are yelling. The drill sergeants, they yell at you and scream and tell you to roll on the ground, and you know you get it's like an initiation that you go through. It didn't faze me. I was kind of expecting, because of my grandfather, I was expecting that type of treatment anyways, so it didn't bother me. In boot camp, it was actually a good, it was a good experience. It was a good, how disciplined, and it really changes a person on how they do things and keep things neat, clean, and tight, and professional. Changes your demeanor to more of a professional person, more serious, should I say. My instructors, I don't really remember them. I remember one instructor. We had something in common because my grandparents lived in Houston, Texas, and the drill sergeant / instructor, he was from the same area, so we kind of hit it off pretty good. And I actually had a pretty good time in boot camp. He was fairly lenient on me. It was 9 weeks of training, of grenades, learning how to throw grenades, fire all different types of weapons, from M16s, machine guns, M60 machine guns, a light anti-tank weapon, which is those handheld like rocket launchers that you see on TV being shot at different types of people or buildings or whatever the enemy is. I served in the Persian Gulf, and we started out in right on the Gulf. The ship was right there, I believe it was Dhahran. And from that point we moved up north, and the places where we were, I really can't remember. Everything's so spread apart. And it could be 50 miles before you come across a town, and the town is like three buildings. And on the other side of the dirt road would be like tents and camels and very rough, sandy, rocky, rough terrain. No water. It's just very dirty area. When we went into Iraq, invaded Iraq, I was with 18th Airborne Corps. I worked with the 82nd Airborne and the 101st, Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I'm a Fort Bragg soldier, but because of my significant training, they had me work with the 82nd and the 101st. As you can see, these different awards. This right here, this is expert sharpshooter. So I was qualified to be a sniper and knock people out in that way. We got the leaf clovers, and I got the Bronze Star, along with my Southeast Asia ribbon, and that's my combat patch. It's a Breathing Dragon, but this is a formal uniform that we would use. I obtained the rank of E4, or specialist, corporal, depending on the situation. If they needed someone to take charge, you'd be promoted to corporal, which is the same as the E4, but you're in a supervisory position. My job assignment initially was to transport parts for weapons, tanks, anything that you can imagine, trucks, anything that would be needed during a war. MREs, which are meals ready to eat. They come in a bag. They're good for 10 years. They're nuclear proof. And I would transport all that stuff back and forth. Could be a 100-mile trip, 200-mile trip, to the 82nd and the 101st. There were times where I had to go on. I had to fight along with the 82nd Airborne and shoot at people. Alright, the enemy. I did see combat. I did see casualties. My unit that I was attached to, the 364th, nobody sustained any we didn't sustain any casualties. The 82nd Airborne, on the other hand, when I worked with them, yes, there were casualties with them. Some memorable experiences. Fighter jet, I was on, sitting on top of a Deuce and a Half. It's a large, like, dump truck, about as big as a dump truck. We were manning a 50 caliber machine gun, and as we were sitting there, a fighter jet flew over and broke the sound barrier right at the point where we were sitting. It blew my friend and I right off the truck. The explosion was incredible. I was not a prisoner of war. I was awarded quite a few medals, and citations, Army Achievement. I have the New York State Liberty Medal. And like I said earlier, I pointed out, Bronze Star. And then these other ribbons are just, you accomplished different types of training. Higher ranks when be asked about battle planning. Those who sustain injuries may be asked about circumstances. I sustained some injuries. When I got blown off the truck, I hit my back on some rocks, big rocks, and my back's been screwed up since then. I also experienced PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress syndrome, and we were also exposed to uranium. They were using uranium, depleted uranium they were putting in the shells that we were firing. We didn't know this, but that caused a rash on my body, like burns from the radiation. Life in the service is good for a single person. If you're married or have a family, it just doesn't work. You're always up and going. You're never around. You're never home for the kid, with the kids. For a single person, military is a great career. But if you plan on having a family and while you're in service, Army's first, family is second. Food was halfway decent. You get used to it. It was something different each day. The one unit that I knew had a real good cook, and I would always make sure I stopped by there and got some of his cooking, which was good. Yes, I did feel a lot of pressure and stress, especially when the Scud missile hit a building in down Iran and killed over 90 soldiers. I was fairly close to that explosion. I felt the ground shaking, and we thought we were under heavy attack. We had to put our gas masks on because we weren't sure if he was going to be using chemicals or mustard gas, whatever. So we had to get in mission-orientated protective posture, it's called. Something special I did for good luck. I'd pray. I'd pray to God to get me home safe. We entertained ourselves by